Today we are talking about the Godox V1 flash. Now, this is not going to be a technical video. We're not going to go into menus, connections, nothing like that. If that's the video you're looking for, you are in the wrong place. That video is either here or here. I can never remember which side that I can link it to. It's gonna be one of these and I'll link it in the description. In this video, we're going to go over some cool little techniques that you can use your V1 flash when taking pictures to create some more interesting photos and to really spice up your images. My name's Will, welcome back to the channel, always good to see you. Today we are going over, like I said, the Godox V1. Quick note on the V1, if you notice on the Godox V1, this one here says V1C. This simply means that this is the V1 for Canon. The V1S is for Sony, the V1F is for Fuji, the V1N is for Nikon, and so on and so forth. So when you are buying your Godox products, make sure that they are the ones that are compatible for your specific brand cameras that you use. That goes for the transmitters as well. The first trick we're gonna go over is creating a false golden hour. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the other day I was shooting a model and we got started a little bit late. The sun had actually completely gone down. We still had the ambient light from the sun, but the sun itself was gone. So I wanted to still do the photos and create kind of a golden hour look. So how do you do this? Well, you take your V1, you make sure you get the accessory pack, which comes with all kinds of little goodies, including a bunch of gels. Now it comes with things like this. So you see this has an orange gel in it, and you can replace these with different colors. It comes with a whole variety of different colors. So you stick this bad boy in there and it magnets right on top, and you set it up on your stand just like you see back here. You have the V1, you see, and then you take your photos. Now you angle it, you put it where you would want the sun to be. So for example, I wanted it to just backlight her hair and give a nice golden look on the hair. So I set it in the back left corner of the frame. And when I did the editing, I just edited out the stand, but it created a really nice golden glow, which one, gave me a sun flare, and two, created a really nice backlight on her hair. It was exactly what I wanted to do, and it was very, very easy. Now you can do many different methods of this. You can change the gels to different colors, you can move the locations, you can put another one on front so you can create a two-toned golden hour. You can do so many different things. There is not one right way to do this. This is one of those things that you can absolutely play around with, get creative, and do tons of different methods and different things to create some spectacular imagery with your flashes. The second thing is night shots. Now, when I shoot weddings, I do tons of creative stuff at night, if I have obviously enough time. And at one wedding, I had the awesome opportunity to capture the Milky Way with the couple. Now, you can't just do this by standing the couple up there and taking a long exposure. It just doesn't work. So you actually have to take two separate photos. So what I did was I set up the tripod and I exposed for the Milky Way. I got that photo. Then I had the couple go into frame and I took another picture and used the V1. I actually manually held it and then triggered the camera with the remote trigger, like with this. And I used that to take a picture and lit the subject with the V1. I just held it right over. I didn't even have a stand. I just literally triggered it, fired it, and I played around. Now the settings are very specific to the situation, so it's just a matter of trial and error. Don't expect to get it the first time. Play with it a few times. Take a couple of different exposures until you get it right. Then combine the two images in post and you create a spectacular image like this. Now the third thing is not really a specific trick that you can do with the V1, more of an item that makes your V1 more powerful when you're shooting weddings or portraits or whatnot. It just is very, very easy to move around. And that is this here. This is a 24-inch softbox built for the V1. This thing is freaking awesome. It's very, very simple. It folds flat, so it fits in my suitcase when I travel to weddings, but this is so cool. So all you do is you pull it up here, and it opens up and it snaps. The V1 clips right in and it locks down. Then you attach it onto your stand, lock it down, and you have a great softbox light to shoot your portraits, for weddings, or just in general. The other cool thing is you can adjust it. So there's a little button here, you clip this, if it's on the stand, you can move it up, down, around, and it is so freaking simple. To collapse it, it's even easier. You push this unlock button here, comes right out, you slide this over, and it's broken down. Piece of cake. So this I highly recommend if you're shooting with V1s. They are incredible. I'll link them in the description, and they're just totally worth it. Very worth it. Okay, the next and final thing we're going to go over is shutter drag. Now this is a very, very popular technique to do at weddings. Now a couple of things you need to know about shutter drag and how to do it. First is the scene. It needs to be dark. You cannot do these images when it's still ambient light out or it's overly bright in the reception hall. It needs to be dark. DJ lights, things like that, strobes, that's fine. But ambient light, like lots of ambient light, will remove the ability to do these types of photos. Secondly, when you're using your flash, make sure that you're using it in manual. Don't use ETTL, don't use automatic. Just stick with manual because you need to be able to adjust it. The other thing is you want to set your flash so it's pointed directly at the person. So if we are going to put this on camera here, let's say I'm taking pictures at a wedding, I'm going to have the flash right on top of camera, pointed directly at the subject. Now the other thing you want to do is you want to set the zoom focus or the zoom rate of the flash. You want the beam, the beam zoom thing, words. You want this to be zoomed in. So you're gonna set this to 50 or more, 50, 70, something like that. So the beam of the light is very narrowed and isn't spreading around like it might do on automatic if you're shooting a wide millimeter. And finally, with the flash itself, you wanna set the power to 1/64th or less. You could probably get away with starting with 1/64 and lowering it if needed or raising it a bit if needed. But generally, you're gonna do a small amount of light at first and adjust as needed. And finally, your camera settings, you can start with an f11, ISO 800, and a shutter of 1/3 of a second, 0.3, not 1.3. Yeah. Then you just adjust as needed. Now again, this is just a way to start. You can obviously get creative with this and do whatever you want and test it and see what works for you. You might find a cool, different, unique way to do this that creates cool effects. But for this one, you give this a shot. Shoot from an upward angle, and then you take the picture, and then you shake the camera. Now, why does this work? You might think, how do you get focused subjects? How this works is when you take the picture, you push the flash, it fires. As soon as the flash fires, you expose your subject. This is recorded on the sensor, and then once you move the camera, the image is already recorded. So all the ambient light in the background then moves and gets all fuzzy, but you've already recorded a clear image of your subject. And that is why this works, simply because the light isn't lingering on your subject. It's a quick flash while you're holding it still. As soon as the flash is off, you move. And that gives you that cool in-focus shutter drag effect. Again, every situation is a little bit different, so the settings may vary, but this gives you a good place to start. And that's 4 different methods that you can use your V1 to create incredible images. The Godox V1 flash is quite spectacular. It's a very, very good flash. I would compare it to the Pro Photo. I've never used one, but they're way more expensive, but apparently they are pretty much very similar flashes. I won't say the same, they're very similar. So if you're looking for a really good flash, again, make sure you get the one that's right for your camera band, but I would recommend the Godox V1. I hope this video helps. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you wanna see how to connect your flash, here's how to do that. Here's another cool video you might like. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.